Good morning, Tampa Bay. What a hell of a weekend for Tampa Bay sports, Evan.
Danny, we should call this Happy Victory Monday.
We should.
Happy Victory Monday to you, sir.
Oh, man. Like, it was all around, it was just great.
Yeah, it was a great weekend for Tampa Bay sports all the way around.
Everybody won.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the week is knowing that one team's moving on in the playoffs, another team took the series from our neighbors from above. So yeah, it's a great weekend, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with the Rays. We'll switch things up a little bit today. We'll start with the Tampa Bay Rays. Obviously, we said that going into the series with the Blue Jays, it was very important that they handle business, and they did. Unfortunately, they're still 4.5 games behind the Yankees because the Yankees just have a cake schedule, which is kind of annoying, but I digress. How did you feel about the Rays over the weekend?
I thought it was a success. I mean, especially on both sides. I mean, the Lightning beat Toronto in the series that we had with them, and then the Rays taking 2 out of the 3 against the Blue Jays. It was a successful weekend. And the funny thing is, I was expecting more from the Blue Jays, and it just all this, all the preseason, the Blue Jays are going to be the hottest team. They've got the best lineup. They're the most complete team. And, what I saw was a team that maybe still needs a lot of work. And I'm glad our boys handled it at home. It was, also a great crowd that came through the whole weekend series too, especially on yesterday's game. 20,000 yesterday for a Sunday afternoon game, was it?
The reported attendance was 20,832. If we're looking for
that is fantastic for a Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I totally loved what I saw out of our boys this weekend. Obviously, there's a couple of guys that really need to pick up the slack when it comes to hitting. Wander Franco being one of them, although he did have a couple of singles this weekend, so his 0 for 18 stretch is no longer there. But and I call this I call that peaks and valleys. Which look, not everybody's going to be hot throughout the whole season. They're going to go through peaks and valleys where they're going to be hot, streaky, and then they're going to have the cold times too. So that's good to see him back. Hitting the ball, that's great. He'll probably get hot again and be that $100 million man that we signed him for. But yeah, I mean it's expected that players are going to be like that. But it was also good to see the other guys pick up the slack too. And as always, G-Man Choi is just he's just a lovable big panda bear. I love that guy.
He's electric.
I know,
is he
man.
Not? That's the term that I always. I'm going to use that forever with him. He's just electric.
He's that fan favorite, which he can hit. Now, only if Brett Phillips can hit, and he'd be like a complete player. Like Brett Phillips can field, he can pitch, he can be that cheerleader. He's a fan favorite, but he just needs to hit the damn ball, and then he'd be like just like the total race player. But I digress on that. So, one of the things that kind of hit them the most was Manuel Margot going on the 10-day. IL list with an injury for his hamstring, I think it was. But hopefully he'll be better. But yeah, man, I think now we're playing Detroit for a series at home, which too bad that Austin Meadows is also going on the IL, so we won't be able to face our former Ray Austin Meadows in this series against the Detroit Tigers. Yeah, Detroit Tigers. So I think the next couple of series is pretty almost like a cakewalk for us. We got the Tigers and the Orioles, and then the Yankees coming into town the end of the month, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Rays could be the team that's surging as the Yankees come into town. I mean, the Yankees handled the Orioles. The Tigers are playing very much like the Tigers.
Yep.
That's. I mean, here's the thing that's interesting though is obviously I'm very in tune with Detroit sports. And for the last handful of years, it's always been, the Tigers aren't ready. The Tigers aren't ready. They're not going to be good. This year, they're like, okay, Tigers are probably going to win the AL Central. I don't know. They're not looking so hot. I mean, and here's the test, right? Because you're playing against a team that nationally was viewed as a solid contending team in the Tampa Bay Rays. So the Tigers come to town, I mean, you should be able to sweep the series.
Right.
You know,
you got 3 against Detroit at home, and then you're going up to Baltimore for 3. That should be an easy series, and then you come back for 2 against Miami, and then you got a 4-game set against the Yankees to close out the month. Which I'm really looking forward to that because like you said before, the Yankees have such a cakewalk of a schedule. They haven't really played any good teams, to be honest with you. I can't think of any teams that they've played yet that have really kind of tested them. So I mean, maybe the Orioles at the beginning of the season, but the Orioles are the Orioles. So
right, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be. Listen, I think if you go in this stretch of games, this next 8 games, where if you go 8-0, be fantastic. If you go 6-2, even better. But these are the games that you really have to handle business with because you're facing teams that are relatively below 500 right now. So you have to go and take care. You can't. And this is the thing with the Rays too. They always, when they play shitty teams, they tend to struggle against shitty teams. And now is not the time to do this because now we're in the middle of May. We're going to be hitting the summer months pretty soon, where that's when teams are starting to pull away from the pack. Now we're only behind the Yankees right now 4.5 games, which is doable. That's nothing right now. That's why handling business against the Orioles and the Tigers, and then the Marlins is now, if you go and gain those 3 or 4 games against the Yankees heading into that series at the end of the month, that's going to make for some great baseball. And that's when you can say, okay, now let's go handle our business and take first place and be over the Yankees right now. That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, we're waiting for the Yankees to actually play against a formidable opponent. That's really what it boils down to. They talked about the Angels, right? Oh, the Angels look great. The Angels look great. Well, the Angels are now in second place. So do the Angels still look great? Like they've had a harder schedule. The Rays have had a harder schedule. The Yankees are kind of playing spring training games still. Like, if we're being honest,
looking at their schedules per so far, I mean, they've played the Tigers, they've played the Guardians. They'll always be the Indians in my heart, and then Orioles, the Royals. I mean, obviously, the Blue Jays. They took care of business against the Blue Jays. I mean, the Blue Jays aren't. I guess they're not that bad of a team. But then you got the Rangers, the Blue Jays again. I was really surprised that the White Sox dropped 3 of 4 against the Yankees, because the White Sox have been, touted as one of those really high contending teams in the league too. So, I mean, maybe the Yankees are that good, but can they sustain this? No, I don't think so. There's going to be there's going to be a part in the season where they're going to collapse, just like the Mets are. And the Mets usually collapse around this time of year. And that's, I think, where the Yankees are going to be. I can't wait for this series. Like, I hate Yankees fans, and I hate the Yankees more than I do the Red Sox and their fans. And the Red Sox fans are terrible people. But
that's saying a lot. Yes. That's really saying a lot, man.
But like, when it comes to Yankees fans, Yankees fans are just, oh, we've got our 27 championships. Yeah, you have 27 championships because, like, when you had a team, there was 10 teams in the whole Major League Baseball, and you guys played each other 100 times a year. That's why you have so many championships. When was the last time?
Never had a salary cap.
Right. So when was the last time you guys won one? What, almost 20 years ago? So times have changed. We would probably, if the Rays were in the league as long as the Yankees have, we would probably have 27 championships too. So
yeah, I mean, it's true.
That whole argument when it comes, we've got 27 championships. Congratulations, you won your 27 championships in the 1920s and 30s.
Who are worse at talking about championships that are pretty much irrelevant? Yankees fans or Cowboys fans?
I think it's dead even.
And it's pathetic.
Yeah,
either which way.
It is. I think it's more annoying. I think it's more annoying with Cowboys fans because every single year they think they're like this. They're gonna go to the Super Bowl or at least go to the playoffs. And it's like, no, you guys are mediocre at best every single season. And when you get to the playoffs, you choke. You choke so hard. I think it's more Cowboys. More Cowboys.
Yeah, because I think you're right, because the NFL tries to take care of the Cowboys in terms of scheduling. They got the easiest schedule this year in terms of strength of schedule. the Yankees are good because they spend a lot of money.
Right. And the Cowboys, they get coddled way too much when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to the NFL where, oh my God, if it's not the Cowboys, what are we going to do in the playoffs? Or like they play in one of the worst divisions in the league. And they hardly, sometimes they don't even win that division.
So I'm not segueing us into football because I want to talk a little bit about the Tigers game today, but the NFC East, all 4 teams are at the bottom of the barrel in terms of strength of schedule this season. And we might be having technical difficulties with Evan, but I'm going to keep talking about that because look, they each play each other twice.
I know.
Right? Like that to me is just insane. That how do you have an entire division is just a cakewalk schedule all season long? That to me is just like it's absolutely insane. Like the Cowboys, I think it's Cowboys, Giants, Commanders, Eagles in terms of like the easiest strength of schedule. Like your entire division is that garbage. Like that I don't understand like how you're that bad. That's just crazy to me. Yeah. I find that absolutely totally shocking to me, but first pitch tonight for the Tigers and Rays is at 6:40. Obviously your Tampa Bay Rays are favored over the Tigers. Evan is back. Welcome back, sir. I love it.
Yeah, it's that morning Wi-Fi problems.
Your Wi-Fi's got a case of the Mondays. That's what I mean.
Case of the Mondays.
That's it. So first pitch is at 6:40 tonight for the Tigers and Rays. Yeah, you got to come out. You got to come out swinging. You got to get the bats alive.
I like who's on the mound for us tonight. Corey Kluber's on the mound tonight, and he's been pretty locked in the past couple of starts too. So I like
minus the start against the Angels.
Yes, that start.
But other than that, yes.
Other than that, he's been pretty locked. So
yeah, like I said, you've got to if you are the Rays tonight. You know, I think in any series, winning that first game sets the tone,
right,
of what you want to expect. Now I know things can change. You know, we'll look at the last series against the Blue Jays. Rays won game 1. They lost game 2 on Saturday. They won game 3. I get it that it can change, but if you can at least win that first game, you get something out of it because the other 2 games could not go your way, especially if momentum is shifting.
The last 10 games, the Rays are 6-4, 207 batting average, 4.55 ERA, outscored by 9 runs the last 10 games.
Yeah.
We've got some injuries. We've got some injuries lining up. I think McClanahan is scheduled to pitch because their whole like schedule with their rotation is weird. Because I think the next, let me look this up real quick. Because he's not scheduled to be. Yeah, so he's game 2. He's game 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'll be on tomorrow. And
so that should be a win.
Yeah, so Kluber, Kluber, McClanahan, and then Rasmussen are our rotation for the series.
So I mean, that's a strong rotation for this series for sure.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, they should be.
Any kind of weirdness, we should be okay. But I mean, we've got injuries racking up though, man. Like KK, Margot. KK's defense, but not his hitting. But Margot with his bats, which has been on fire lately. Like you need to get him back in the lineup. But I think, I think this is a good thing too, putting him on the IL for 10 days, especially against teams like, the Tigers and the Orioles, where you can have him at full strength against the Yankees coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's what that move was.
Yeah,
because obviously he strained the hamstring against the Mariners.
Yeah.
Or was it against the Angels? I think it was against the Angels he strained it.
I think it was the last game against the Angels when they were coming back home.
Right. Okay.
The game 3, I think it was.
So, I mean, obviously you are uncertain about the Blue Jays. If the hamstring's not terribly injured, if it's just a little tweak or something, yeah, go out there and play. But yeah, Tigers, Orioles, you don't need them. Like you said, sit them out, rest it up, and then you got you have to make a move on the Yankees, and that's the bottom line when it comes to the Rays. You can hold steady, you can win, 2 out of 3.
What are your thoughts on that? If when the Yankees come into town, are you happy with? Obviously, we'd all be happy with the sweep. That'd be fantastic. I mean, we'd all be happy with 3 out of 4. Are you okay with splitting the series 2-2?
I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think anything under 500 would be just, that's not what we want. I would settle I think the last effort for me, I would settle for a split series for 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's the bare minimum for me. Yeah. I'll be content with a 2-2 split.
Okay, I'm content with that too, because I think that shows me, we can contend with the Yankees, and we're not, nobody's gonna be. I mean, obviously nobody's counting us out at all, but like splitting a series with them, that's a win-win. That's a win-win in my book.
I agree. Yeah, because as it is right now, the Yankees are the team to beat. So if you can split with the Yankees this early in the season, you understand where you need to be, make the adjustments for later on in the season for your next series, and then just keep pushing forward. We talk about this all the time. Everybody talks about it ad nauseum. Baseball is a long-ass season.
Oh, but if you're the Yankees, you've already won the World Series. If you're
they got 28 now.
Yeah, if you're in first place, and if you're in first place in May, you've already won the World Series, according to MLB and ESPN and everybody else.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's lazy headlining, right? And I get big market teams, whatever, but look,
it's a slow day, slow news day. That's what they have to do.
Yeah, like the Angels lose their series against the Rays, or I'm sorry, the series before the Rays, the Angels lost that series. They win the first game of that series, and ESPN talks about the surging Angels.
Right.
What? Well, I mean, they were identical. They had the same batting average, same ERAs for their pitching rotation, same last 10, same streak. Like, why is one team surging and the other team's not surging? Like, lazy headlines by
Danny. Remember, we're a bunch of SEC teams. Nobody cares about us. Nobody. We're SEC teams. Nobody cares about Tampa teams.
Thank you very much, Michael Wilbon.
Nobody cares.
I feel like us and Tampa media we're gonna be talking about that forever. Like, that's always gonna be a thing now. And maybe that was his entire point.
You know what? I hope it was, because that should be a topic. I hope Tony Kornheiser today on PTI 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on ESPN calls him out. I hope he does.
Yeah. Yep.
I hope he calls him out. Like, all the stuff he talked about last week, and your pick, the Maple Leafs, did not, come through for you, because some SEC hockey team just came and beat you guys in 7. So
whooped that ass.
Yes.
We'll
get to that later.
Yes, we will. Buccaneers news. Gronk's still trolling.
I love that guy. He's just a big dumb football player. I love that guy.
Like, WWE champion. Like, I mean, how do you not love Gronk?
He's just
he was one of the only likable players in New England.
Mm-hmm.
Until
Brady came down here.
Right. Then mysteriously, we're like, oh no, we always liked Tom Brady.
We love Tom Brady now.
Look, I've always respected Tom Brady's work, but I just did not like the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, down from Robert Kraft and everything. Like, you just look at Robert Kraft and you're like, okay, before all of the massage shit that was happening.
Hey, look, he's like an 80-year-old man. Leave him alone.
Right? Yeah, he's like, yeah. I mean, he feels like he's like the Hugh Hefner of the NFL.
How much of a grain of salt are you taking with his comments on IG about him wearing, the number 7 jersey on Fournette's Instagram? Do you think he's legit saying, hey, I'm not coming back, I'm retiring? Or is he just saying, I'll troll more people by doing this?
I honestly think that he already knows what he wants to do, and the Buccaneers already know what he wants to do, and he's just having so much fun with it.
Okay.
Whether he's actually coming back or whether he's not actually coming back, I think that he is just enjoying having fun and trolling the fans, because look, we're talking about it. Bucks Life is writing articles about it. Pewter Reports. Everybody's writing articles about Rob Gronkowski, just trolling. And look, that's how you keep your name in the headlines these days. Is you take to Instagram and TikTok and all these social media platforms and just say stupid shit.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. I like Leonard Fournette's response better. He's like, "Yeah, don't make me tear up, bro."
I think he's coming. I think he's coming back.
I think he is. You know, we talk about this because there's not really anything else to talk about outside of what happened on Friday at
Right.
OTAs, but they don't need him. But man, like he's just so entertaining. Like I want him. Like,
you know what they could do is bring him back. But he could be the mascot.
All right. You put him in the pirate outfit?
Put him in the pirate outfit. You know what? Don't tell anybody that they're doing it, though. Put him in the pirate outfit. Great. Don't tell him that. Don't tell anybody that they're doing it. And then, all of a sudden, Cam Brate, like, actually sign him to a contract, but don't tell anybody about it, even though it's hard not to do. And then if Cam Brate goes down, like during the middle of the game, what's going on with the Bucks mascot? There's some rustling going down there. He's taking off his clothes. Oh my God, it's Gronk. He's in full uniform. That would be like electric. That'd be like WWE style, like electric.
What if he did it and then he pranced through the end zone Antonio Brown style?
Yeah, but is he like prancing, like leaving the stadium, or is he prancing like, hey, I'm coming back into the stadium though? Because you can't do like the whole Antonio Brown kind of thing. Because Antonio Brown like pranced left.
Well, I mean, he could prance and leave at towards halftime and then come out and play in the second half.
I got you.
You know what, like
I got you.
That like the ultimate reveal, and then he trolls Antonio Brown because that's what Rob Gronkowski does.
I like that.
I mean, God, even Tom Brady's getting in on it. It reveals the cookie Gronkster. Say that one time fast.
Holy Cookie crap. Cookie Gronkster.
Okay, fine. You're better than me. It'll help you stay fit for this season. And even put this season in quotes in his story. Like,
yeah, I think he's coming back.
There's just so many. I find it interesting. I love it's entertaining. It's just fun to watch, and
I might have to order this from TB12. The Gronk's Cookie Gronkster smoothie.
Yeah, read those ingredients.
Oh, I was just about to. You read my mind. All right, so we got one medium ripe banana. I thought bananas were all the same size. Okay, half cup frozen wild blueberries, 2 cups almond milk, 2 teaspoons almond butter, and 1 scoop cookies and cream plant-based protein from TB12. Combine all ingredients in a blender, blend smooth, and enjoy. Actually sounds pretty nice.
It does.
I might have to make myself a cookie Gronkster tomorrow.
Would you use the TB12 cookies and cream protein, or would you just go to like Vitamin Shop and get whatever available?
I would probably have to get the cheapest available because I know TB12's protein is expensive as shit. So I wouldn't spend all that kind of money on, Tom Brady protein.
Yeah, it's plant-based. Plant-based protein usually doesn't blend well.
Yeah. So I'd probably just get regular like cookies and whatever protein.
So Friday at OTAs, we finally got some action. On it was either Wednesday or Thursday last week where Clyde Christensen talked about Kyle Trask will not be competing for the backup quarterback role. So then Friday, what happens? Oh, here comes old Todd Bowles, and he says, "Oh no, Kyle Trask is definitely going to be competing. It's going to be a priority to get him snaps and OTAs and mini camp, and he will definitely be competing for the QB2 spot with Blaine Gabbert." So my question to you is this comment more damage control than serious?
I think it's a little bit of both because, if he's not competing for the second job, then why is he even there? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you're not going to be, hey, we drafted you so you can compete for the third job. Like, So I think it's damage control, and it's also saying, hey, he is going to be able to have a chance to compete for that slot. But obviously, I think in the end they already know what they're going to do with Trask is not put him in that spot. But
yeah,
because why would you? Obviously, why would you draft him to be? Why would you draft him to begin with? Just to compete for the practice squad. So I think.
yeah.
So I think in the end, I think this is a little bit of the damage control of, hey, we are going to let him compete for the spot, but ultimately, and these are underlying tones of ultimately he's going to be in either the third spot or maybe lower than that, because Blaine's already got the backup job already kind of wrapped up already in a bow, barring any kind of spectacular training camp or preseason that Kyle Trask may have. So,
and that should be the realistic outlook heading into every offseason.
right.
Is unless you are a Tom Brady or a Mike, you got the core starters.
Right.
Unless you're one of those core starters that are basically guaranteed, everything else should always be on the table.
Right.
It should always be wide open.
I definitely agree with you on that. I think I hate it when teams are so vague about what they're going to do with guys that are competing for spots. Like, just say, look, he's going to have the opportunity. We'll evaluate in preseason and OTAs, and we'll evaluate before the beginning of the season. If he does well, then he'll get that spot. If not, the expectations are him to be the number 3 quarterback, in the rotation. If Griffin doesn't even show up. So it's like, stop being vague with us. We're not stupid little kids. Just tell us what you guys are really doing.
Yeah. I mean, I like it to an extent. Like,
it's fine. It gives
depends.
us stuff to talk about on a daily basis, but still, just quit being vague with us. Just tell us your real plan, which we already know what it is, and just say that,
Yep. So Todd Bowles also said he's most excited to see Luke O'Dickey in OTAs and wants to see the battle for guard all summer long. Of course, Aaron Stinney's going to be battling. There's so many guys that are. The guard is the only thing that's in question.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Todd Bowles, and this could be a, well, what did you expect him to say kind of comment. So everybody always says that. And be like, oh, I'm excited to watch this guy. It could be like the Mr. Irrelevant pick, right? And the coach goes, yeah, I'm excited to see him. And you go, well, yeah, is he? And then people always go, oh, well, what was he supposed to say? I didn't think so. Like,
I think he's gonna get the job.
I think so as well.
Yeah,
if you look at his highlights,
you hear his press conference where he says, I'm going to bring the controlled rage to this position. I like that, man. That could be a T-shirt. Controlled rage.
That could be a shirt.
Copyrighted by ChannelsideSports.com, Channelside Sports TM, all rights reserved. No, right now.
Possibly partner with like Smack.
Yeah. Dude, bring that up to them. Bring that up to Smack, bro.
I'll talk to Jeff today. We'll see what we
bring
can
that
do.
Up, dude. Controlled rage.
I like it.
I'm hashtagging that shit. Controlled rage.
You know what I like, and I guess we'll harp a little bit more on the fans here real quick, is when I release like when you release a mock draft, people don't even read it, right? And it's just immediate like laughing emoji. I release a mock draft, it could be a blank sheet of paper and it's still 1,000 laughing emojis and like 2 thumbs up, and then like one guy's like, this is the best draft ever, and then other people are like, you don't know football. And I was like, look, I really like Logan Hall. Putting him next to Vita Vea is going to be a fantastic move. I really like the move.
It's going to be insane. I love it.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm the most stupid Buccaneers fan. I should never talk about football again. Holy shit, the Buccaneers draft Logan Hall, and they're very excited about him. Everybody on this team has spoken about him, and they're all very excited, going, oh, yeah, he's perfect fit. Like, I just...
See, Danny, I'm the opposite. The only mock drafts I do are for fantasy football. I don't do any of the mock drafts for the actual draft.
Do you do mock drafts for fantasy football?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, do you play in different leagues or do you play with the same people?
So I've been in the same couple of leagues for a while now. There's one I've been in for 6-7 years. And then there's another one where we're reactivating it this year where it's another like 6-7 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I've been in another league, which I kind of like fell into like a long time ago when I was first playing fantasy, where it's like it's a 2-quarterback league, eight man league, redraft, super flex league, where it's like, it's not for money, but I've been in that league for like almost 10-15 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I've been in a league, but like, if you want to get, I would say if you're playing fantasy, do mock drafts because it helps you out in the end game when you're doing your drafting, because there's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing drafting. So if you do your mocks and know what pick you're doing, then you kind of like have the upper hand.
See, I don't do mock drafts ever, but I'm always pretty good in fantasy. But what I do is like, I have like a big board.
No, that's
like
dude.
And that's the way that I do it is like, okay, so, all right, so I'll log in, see, okay, snake draft, I'm 4th pick. I hate being middle of the pack.
The best mock drafting platform is Sleeper.
Yeah.
That's the best one. Sleeper, what's up? If you want to sponsor the show, be great. But Sleeper is the best one to do it from. I love Sleeper.
Yeah. The app is great too.
Yes, the app is fantastic. Notifications go out even before ESPN and Yahoo.
Yes,
which is
they do.
Too. Yeah.
I like Fantasy Pros as well. I think Fantasy Pros is pretty good.
They are pretty good. I like Sleeper a little bit better though.
That's fair. I will allow it. So, Kevin Garver, sorry, easy for me to say, said that it's outside of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, of course, that it's open season at wide receiver.
That could be misinterpreted like a bunch of ways.
Right. Like,
because usually open season like coincides with hunting. So
like you're just gonna start picking them off. Like,
yeah, are all these guys like susceptible to be injured or like picked off by somebody? So
not only did you not make the team, you are also dead.
As the Joker would say, poor choice of words.
Yeah. So outside of Evans and Godwin, currently in the wide receiver room is Russell Gage, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, Cyril Grayson, Rashad Perriman, Travis Johnson, Jalen Darden, Austin Watkins Jr., Vincent Smith, and Jareth Stearns.
It's good depth to have. I mean, obviously, before Godwin comes back, one of these guys is going to have to step into the 2 spot, which right now, I would say Gage is the more inclined to do that. He's the seasoned vet. He's able to probably now. Obviously, he's not going to be as good as Godwin, but I think out of all those guys, Gage will be the one that's probably going to have to be the dude that be the number 2 for right now.
Yeah,
I love Jalen Darden. I mean, they drafted him pretty high. I think it was it was the draft before this one, and they had high expectations for him. So, but like out of all these guys, like Scooter, Tyler Johnson, I mean, all these guys are great wide receivers. Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is a good thing to have for the depth, but going in, I don't. What did he mean by open season?
I just think he meant that there's nobody. They don't have a wide receiver 3 and down.
Okay. Yeah, but that's just the wrong.
I don't think he's actually talking about shooting, but you never. I mean,
that's just the wrong thing to say. Like open season. Maybe it's like Kevin. He meant like, hey, we've got a door wide open for wide receivers to come in.
Right.
Not open season, which, poor choice of words.
I think what's interesting is them bringing back Rashad Perriman.
I like that.
Because he fit in very well when he had to step up at the end, not the end of last season, of course, but the season before.
Yep.
He stepped up very well when he was called upon. But the thing that I find odd is he didn't even make the team for the Detroit Lions, who did not even have a wide receiver 1.
Well, 2 differently run organizations that look at their talent way differently.
Yeah, but I mean, a good receiver is a good receiver at the end of the day. Like if you're going to sign somebody, like,
well, I remember him in Cleveland where he had a little bit of the drop problem. He had some drop problems, and I think that's why a lot of teams weren't really keen to sign him. And then when he's been down in Tampa, I mean, he's really kind of corrected his dropping problem. So I think if you're going in the depth chart, Gage would be that first guy up in the second spot, and then Perriman would be behind Gage.
That's the way that I'm looking at it. And you
And
know
then
what?
maybe after him would be Tyler Johnson.
I was gonna say I would either put Tyler Johnson or, sorry for the Scotty Miller fans, but I might even put Cyril Grayson ahead of Scotty Miller just out of sheer speed. Cyril Grayson is a former track star. Like
Yeah, but Scotty's so fast though, and he's got some good hands.
he does, but I guess they're both. Grayson and Scotty are both just go route guys.
You know what they should do is have Scooter and Grayson like do a foot race to see who would get that next on the depth chart.
And that's it. Like it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your catch percentage is. Doesn't matter any of that stuff. Like
we're doing a foot race, and that's that. Whoever wins gets the spot.
Somehow or another, Tyreek Hill will find out about it and ask if he can be a part of it. Because like that's what he does. Like I want to raise everybody. I'm the fastest guy in the league. Good Lord. Well, NFL season is still a long ways away.
True.
But there's still a lot to be. You could see the emergence of Jalen Darden in the offseason as we head into preseason and things. Like you could see him go completely just like turn it on.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to tie this to the Lions, but like look at Amon-Ra St. Brown. He finished second behind Jamar Chase in terms of yards, and second behind Jalen Waddle in terms of receptions. He was a fourth round draft pick.
I remember he came out of nowhere.
Exactly. So, Jalen Darden also has a guy named Tom Brady also pitching him the rock. So
True.
Tom Brady's kind of got that Aaron Rodgers effect where any receiver that you have is going to look better. Like that's really what it boils down to. I mean,
now, of course, Tom Brady will take a pay reduction to get the quality of wide receivers. Aaron Rodgers will not.
Correct. Aaron Rodgers will let his best receiver walk.
Yes, he'll let his number one go for a huge payday for another team.
Do you buy that at all? Do you buy it that Aaron Rodgers did not know that Davante Adams was not going to come back before he signed?
I call bullshit on that.
Yes, there's no way that he knew.
Yeah,
I'm no way that he didn't know.
There's no way those two aren't talking, all the time, and Davante's not going to look. If I don't get what I want, if I don't get what I want, I'm out. And there's no way. Then they had zero relationship whatsoever. If that conversation never came up in the last few months before that happened, they had zero relationship. It had to have been discussed before that happened.
I totally agree. Otherwise, like I think that Aaron Rodgers is just he tries to troll a lot like Gronk, except he's just not funny.
Well, he's not good at it.
Right. And he's like one of those guys where you're like, wait, are you trolling me or are you being serious? Like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah. He's just not good at it. That's why everybody hates him.
That is very correct. Tampa Bay Lightning, Evan, handled their business. And before we even talk about that, we have a little footage from our SEC hockey team with their football fans waiting for spring football, apparently. Yeah, no, nobody was there.
No, there was zero people there.
Nope, just waiting for spring football. Look, that video doesn't really do much justice because there were as many people as the eye could see. Like it was further back than what you could see on the video. But it was absolutely insane. Obviously, Bolt's got it done, and that's really all that matters.
I love hockey because the amount of memes that were created after the Maple Leafs lost, it was like meme Christmas.
There's one meme in particular that we all took a liking to, more so you and Kristen. But
you want me to put it up?
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
Keep talking. I'll put it up.
Yeah, sure.
Let me find it.
And look, A lot of Leafs fans are talking about the interference call that got the goal waived. No goal for the interference call. But it was a blatant interference call. You can't bring up the Andre Palat interference where it was kind of a pick play. Like, you can't bring that up. Like, is he legitimately crying?
No, that's a new filter that's been popping up lately on people's like TikToks and feeds and videos and stuff, where you can like change a person's face where it looks like they're crying.
I mean, I don't know him, but it looks like it's like that filter does a pretty damn good job.
Well, there was also a video of somebody that put up, I think it was in the second intermission before the third period, where somebody was interviewing Maple Leafs fans and they were changing their faces to look like that when they were interviewing them. So it looked like they were crying. Yeah. It was awesome.
That is just great. So I find it very, very fitting that before the game, Corey Perry was talking to Gabby Shirley and says that this is where players make a name for themselves in Game 7. You step up, and people will always remember you.
Like what happened?
Hello, Nick Paul.
Twice.
Right. Like, he owned, like, that was his game. Talk about a coming out party. Like, holy shit, man. But yeah, I want to talk about the Leafs fans that are complaining about that interference call. Look, that was a basketball pick. That's what that was.
Listen, Danny, losers always make excuses. Winners move on. And if you're going to keep making excuses, look, if you're just going to highlight the Game 7 officiating, then you're making excuses on why your team couldn't close out a series. Again. Okay?
Again.
So fine. Keep making excuses. Keep saying the refs blew it for you. No, your team blew it for you. You had 7 chances. Couldn't do it.
The Maple Leafs outscored the Lightning in this series.
The Maple Leafs outplayed the Lightning in this series. I'm okay to admit that. They did. They outplayed the Lightning. Everybody knows that. They were a faster team, a more physical team, but they couldn't close it out. So if you're going to highlight just one game where, oh my God, the refs were dangerous, well, then you're making excuses for something that your team couldn't have done, was close out a series, and they couldn't do that. So go ahead, make your excuse. And you know what? They can make all their excuses all they want, and they can just go back and maybe root for the Blue Jays, and when basketball happens again, the Raptors, because in the end we won. We're moving on. The Maple Leafs have to go and cry in their maple syrups again for another few months.
And look, and here's the thing for me is like, as a Lightning fan, I was more worried about the Maple Leafs than I am the Panthers. The Maple Leafs, I get the Panthers have not won a playoff series since '96, but they're also a newer team.
Right. They are a young team. And they will be back. Look, listen, not to take anything away from the Maple Leafs. Like next year, they're probably going to be even better than they were this year.
100%. And look at this as a building block. Like, you took the back-to-back champions
to Game 7 games.
7 games. You basically handed them their ass throughout the entire series.
Right. There's nothing. Well, if you're a Maple Leafs fan, of course you're going to be disappointed too. But I would say, hey, this is maybe a step in the right direction for our team, where if we can take the champs to 7 games like that and visibly outplay them, which everybody knows that they did, that's nothing to. I mean, yeah, you're going to cry anyways because you lost the series, but I would say it's a step in the right direction for them. I mean, there was Maple Leafs fans fighting each other after the game in the stadium. If you saw those videos,
I did see those videos.
But in the end, you can't look. Everybody blames the refs for, blowing a game or whatever. But ultimately, it's the team that's got to do this, not the refs. The refs aren't playing the game; they're officiating. Yep. Your team has to close it out. They didn't do that. Go ahead and make your excuse.
Yep. How about Vazzy stepping up?
The big cat. That's why you win back-to-back championships, is you have the big cat in the net and doing that, man. That's how you win back-to-back championships.
Yep. So the Lightning have now won 9 straight series, and in the final game of each series, Vazzy has a total of 5 shutouts out of those 9 games, a .976 save percentage, and a .88 8 GAA. That's you. Like you can't win scoring an eighth of a goal. It's just not possible. It's absolutely, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this the series against the Panthers. A lot of people are complaining about that series is starting on the same day as the Heat series on the same day, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing: is somebody first of all, nobody's going to Panthers games, right?
Right.
Let me throw this up here. This is directly from Ticketmaster, Evan. These are your seat prices, okay? Now, if you compare, and I don't have a screenshot of the Lightning Game 3, but the Lightning Game 3 for similar seats is double and almost triple the price.
Damn, really?
People are not going to Florida Panthers games. And for the fans that are complaining about the Miami Heat and the Panthers starting, look, I spent a lot of time in South Florida most of my life. People are not driving up from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. Right. And then they're not driving from Fort Lauderdale over to Sunrise. Like they're just not doing it. These are the same fans that show up late to playoff games for the Miami Heat and leave playoff games early if they're down by 8 or more points with 3 minutes to go.
I didn't know the Panthers had fans.
I mean, in the playoffs, of course. Everybody's a fair weather fan in that area.
That's true.
That's what it boils down to. But yeah, like you're not. That to me is just stupid. I don't like it. The only thing that scares me about it is Braden Point is going to possibly be out, according to Steven Stamkos anyway, games 1 and 2. He went down late in the first period of game 7, tried to come back, couldn't make it happen. Took a seat for the remainder of game 7 and didn't look. Hopefully he comes back.
If he's out for 2 games, I'm okay with that. That gives him more time to rest. And I think we can take care of business without him, which we obviously did in game 7. So if he needs 2 games to rest, I think we'll be good.
Yep. And I think honestly, I think that they can at least take 1 at BB&T Center down in Sunrise.
Do you think it'll be a split before coming back home? 1-1 and then come back in the Tampa?
I think it will be a split. Okay. I mean, if the Bolts come back, I don't see it going I don't see the Bolts losing both. But if they can go up 2-0, I mean, the series is over before it even comes back.
Right.
So we've got Tuesday.
And that's even more rest too. If they take they take the series early, then that's even more time to rest before the next one. That's even better for Point. So
yep. Tuesday puck drops at 7. That's when the series opener. Thursday at 7 again. Sunday is a 1:30 matinee at Emily. Ooh. And then followed by a back-to-back. They've got a Monday game at 7 p.m. Thanks to the concert at Emily on Saturday for kind of screwing that whole thing up. But
wait, who's playing on that concert?
I don't even know.
Better be somebody good.
I looked and I forgot. I'm not really into like a lot of newer acts.
The newer acts?
Yeah. Especially when it comes to hip hop. Like I'm quote unquote an old head. Like we're going to Welcome to Rockville this weekend. I'm totally stoked about that.
Well, Kane Brown is coming to Emily on the 21st. That's this weekend, but that wouldn't matter.
Yeah, there's something on Saturday.
Isn't that Saturday?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's the concert. Kane Brown.
Ah, okay.
With Walker Hayes and Ray Lynn. Oh, isn't Walker Hayes that dude that does that Fancy Like song?
I think so. Yeah.
Ugh, yeah, I'll stay away from that.
It's gonna be white. Never mind.
I hate country in general, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. Good Lord, we're gonna. Poor. Yeah. Dog got shot. Girlfriend ran away. Car broke down.
It's a song roulette. Country roulette.
That's it. Throw darts at the dartboard and go. All right.
That's right.
It's kind of like how Pitbull makes music too, but that's conversation for another day as well. We could rag on Miami starting tomorrow. I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Did you have any final thoughts for the Rays Tigers starting tonight at 6:40?
No, I think it's going to be a good series against them. Like we said earlier, I think we need just to go in, take care of business against these next teams that we got coming up: Tigers, Orioles, and the Marlins, and then play the Yankees at the end of the month, and head out to the ballpark, people. Head out.
Support them Rays.
He had a good showing this weekend against the Blue Jays. Let's continue that against the Tigers, even though I know it's a weekday and, there's lots of other things to do. But yeah, let's go Rays and go Bolts. Let's do this.
Go Rays, go Bolts. We'll be back to do this all over again tomorrow morning.